All right, now that you've got the cube and the pyramid completed, let's talk about those curved surfaces. Remember, the curvature of the sphere gets light a lot differently than a flat surface does. The sphere gets the light most directly right at one point, and it gradually changes, curving away from that light source. Not just this direction, but also this direction, everywhere, 360 degrees from it. So we're going to try to make this flat shape look like this three-dimensional form with value building. And it takes a little bit more time and effort than it did with those first two. When you're applying it, leave a little bit of a white area right where it hits most directly. So I'm having it hit right there. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll take out a little bit more right at that point. And then I'm going to put a nice light application over the whole form very gently so that it's just a one light value like that on this surface. Blend it in. If you go with your thumb or your finger the direction of the curvature, like I'm curving it that way, but I can also curve it this way. That helps to create that illusion of three-dimensionality. If we actually see those curves, it just helps to create it. If you put it down with your charcoal following those curves, it's more likely to be believable too. So here's my second application. I didn't go as far toward the light source as I did with the first one. And once again, I'm curving it with the curvature of the form. And I'm going right up to my outlines as much as I can, especially at that far edge. And I'm just building values one on top of another, not going quite as far as I did with the last time. And I'm blending it in, following the curvature of the form as much as possible. And remember, we want to make it look like a white object still. I think I've said that a couple times. If I haven't, we want things to look like the white objects I have in the classroom with me. So I don't want them to get too dark. If they get too dark, it won't look realistic. It won't look like a white object anymore. It'll look like it's just a painted surface. So it's a gradual change from lightest to darkest. I'm going to pull out a little bit along there, and then I'm going to soften it up again. It's a curved surface. It's a gradual change from light to dark, and it hits here more aggressively, and it's lightest there, and it gets darker as it curves this way, and this way, and this way. So I still need to apply some charcoal onto this edge, all the way down to this edge, and a little bit more right in there, so that I can create it looking like it's getting less light as it curves away from that light source from all directions. Right? So it just keeps building and building and building. And take your time. It takes some practice. It takes patience. All right? Some of you are really good on the patience, and others of you want instant gratification. The things that take the longest are almost always the most satisfying. Okay, so take your time to build it up gradually. I'm going to finish it up real fast here without talking. All right, so it's pretty much finished up now. The last thing to do is to get rid of the smudging and smearing I did outside of the form. And if your shape's outer edges show, if your form's outer edges show, the outlines show, it's okay for this assignment. But if we were drawing the real objects to the best of our ability, we would want to try to disguise those outlines by including them into the darkest value. I accidentally erased some of that, so I just built it back up, and I'm going to put it back in, and then I'm going to soften it up a little bit. All right, so that's our sphere. I'm sorry, that's the sphere. Remember, don't do anything to the ellipse. Our next one is the cone.